has been in the family since 1837, where Iowa's oldest farm under continuous family ownership or settlement. And it was kind of a traditional farm in the pioneer days, mainly livestock. My family, they weren't big into grain farming, but they had a lot of timber pasture and timber and woods, and that provided great shelter for livestock. So they kind of used that as their springboard to building up the farm to where it was. It was almost 900 acres at one time.
That's sizable.
Very sizable. A lot of it was timber yet, but just within the past 20 years, farming techniques changed quite a bit, and our side of the family really didn't have the equipment to keep up with the new modern farming. We didn't really have enough land to do that, so we were looking at alternative crops. And one of the things we looked at were the elderberry, and we had known for years that my dad made great elderberry wine, so we knew, well, there's something there, at least we could make wine out of it. And then through some research, we found you and River Hills Harvest, attended some of your workshops and got some of the cuttings to get started. And so our original intent and business plan was to grow elderberries for the health food market in River Hills. As the elderberries were growing, and we were getting some small crops at first, we decided to do a value-added step and make mead out of it. And the reason we made mead was we wanted it to be an all Midwest product.
It's beautiful.
And this is some of our apple mead, Johnny Apple mead, which would be a sizer. And it's got just a little bit of elderberry in it, just to kind of give it just a little zing.
And a beautiful color.
Oh, I love the color of it.
So I know you grow a lot more than elderberry around here too. You have other things that you make your meads out of, and some historic old plants. The green gage plums have been here since the 1800s also, haven't they?
Yeah, well, the pioneers got here in 1837. Our Joel C. Garrettson got here in June of 1837.
He homesteaded right here.
Well, it was back in the timber, but this was one of his original purchases where we're at now. This house we're at now was my great-grandfather's. The original house was a cabin back in the woods, and then they built a house about where the wine barn is, and they used that till about 1899 when they had this built. But, so we're going back through a lot of our old correspondence, and we're finding that they canned green gage plums. They preserved them, preserves, they dried them. It was kind of an easy source of sugar for the pioneers. They couldn't buy, a lot of times they couldn't get cane sugar. I mean, that was kind of a tough commodity to get early on. The green gage plums were interesting in that they've been propagating themselves along our fence row down the road here for all this time. So as far as we know, they've been around for at least 150 years.
That's a long time.
So we're keeping them going. We take cuttings off of them and they're grown from seed. And so we have probably, I don't know, maybe 10 or 15 new green gage plum trees. And then we have some that have been there for at least 40 years. They've been kind of repropagating themselves in our wood pile. So of all places.
So also, I know you do the mead, and that's great, but you also have music festivals, and you are a musician yourself, and you love to play here. So tell us about that part of your business and life.
Well, that's something that we've always loved to do. My kids are musicians. We love folk roots and blues music. We enjoy having musicians come up here. And we kind of got the idea from some of the old workshop and elderberry festivals that you guys had down in Hartsburg. So we love that so much. We kind of, if anybody that comes to our festivals and that have been to Hartsburg, there's a little bit of resemblance there. But it's just fun. We love having musicians of all types come up, and that's just a fun thing to do. It's an opportunity for us to spread the word about the mead that we make. And,
Captive audience to sell your mead to.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's perfect.